I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Vonte. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any other type of videos, feel free to send them either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. It could be for pretty much anything. So, this one is a request to review an episode of the 80s Ninja Turtles cartoon. Specifically, Turtles at the Earth's Core. Now, this is pretty much, I believe it's season 3, episode 10. Sorry if I'm wrong about that. And it's on this DVD here. Real quick, like, look at this DVD. Why does Donatello have the smile of a pedophile? Like, isn't that the look of a pedophile right there? Like, Donnie, like, Stranger Danger, Donnie. That should be his nickname. Like, what is the deal with his artwork? But yeah, I mean, the Turtles have always gotten shitty releases on home video. Like, Raphael almost has that as well. Why, what's the Stranger Danger Donnie, you know? Fucking pedo look. And, you know, let's put 12 episodes on one disc and no features and full, yeah, whatever the fuck. But what can you do? Now, before I get into the episode, I'm a big Ninja Turtles fan. The first inclination I ever heard of these characters was this show back in the late 80s to early 90s. That, and then that led to seeing the first movie in 1990 and the second film in 1991, and became a fan ever since. Now, I will say, nowadays the Turtles are in the shitter. Well, let's be honest, every fucking franchise is in the shitter, or pretty much every franchise. So what am I talking about? But nowadays, when I talk about like my favorite incarnations, I say like the 1990-1991 film, the 2003 cartoon. I actually prefer more. I do. I can admit. I do enjoy this show more than this one. And this is the show I grew up with. Which is funny, because people always say I base stuff on nostalgia. No, I base it on what I like and dislike, and simple as that. If it's strictly based on nostalgia, I would say this is my all-time favorite. It's not. This is my favorite. Because I like the way not only the show looks, but it's more action, the more ninjas, there's a little bit of emotion at times, a little bit more drama at times, a little bit more character work at times, but it's still, you know, a kid show. Which I'm like, then maybe to lead to doing more. Instead, they regress 10 feet back. 10 miles back. But for the time, this was a fun show. And to give respect, if it wasn't for this show, the Turtles would not have been as popular. Because they were in the comic books. Comic books were selling fairly well. And then there was a guy that wanted to make this comic book characters into action figures. That's why the early action figures they all had like the same kind of look. If you're wondering why, it's because, okay, we're going to change the color of the bandana, number one, to help sell, because why they don't buy four of the same turtle? Oh, maybe get a sword. Okay, change it, differentiate them, but also help with sales and toys. Because that's how this show was created. If people don't know, this show was created because it was to sell a toy line. And the first season is only 5, 6 episodes, something like that. It is very short. It was meant to be like a mini series, like a little chunk of episodes. Boom, it's out there. That's one of the reasons, like, you look at the Nintendo game for NES. The cover is a cover from the comic book. And the cover, all four turtles have red bandanas. Because the cartoon was not a phenomenon like it became. And because you only had those couple episodes, people go, where's all these other characters in the game? Well, because you only had like 5 or so episodes to work with. And that Nintendo game, for what they had, because they had Shredder in it, they had the Turtles, April, Splinter, the Mousers, which is in the early episodes, the Technodrome, Bebop, Rocksteady, and then the rest of the fucking monsters they had to create because there wasn't no 8 seasons of a show to get stuff out of. But anyway, the 5 or 6 episodes were such a success. Gotta do more, and they did a shitload. And watch it again. I mean, with this episode, it's a fun show. It's not a show I love like I did when I was a kid. A lot of the jokes are corny. The Turtles, as a guy that I like when the Turtles are more ninja-like, which I know is stupid to say because I like Secret of the Ooze, but Secret of the Ooze, they use more martial arts in that than a lot of times in the show. I mean, to be fair. So I like the Turtles using fists and martial arts, and while this is more, I'm going to throw something so it lands on you. And they don't do a whole lot in this episode. Like, you watch this, watch Turtles at the Earth's Core, look at the Turtles, and then tell me what all do they actually do. There's a rumbling, they go up, there's a dinosaur that they later named Dippy, they follow his tracks, they go all the way down with their turtle blimp, they find Dippy again, they get on his back, and then Dippy does all the work. Goes over here, goes over there, goes over the things so you don't die from the lava, calls the other dinosaurs, they bash open the Technodrome, the turtles go in. Raphael, my favorite, throws a sigh at a cable, fries Crane for a bit. They play keep away with this gem that's in this lost continent, however you want to describe it. It's something to do with the jewel, this crystal. It keeps the dinosaurs alive. I don't know why, but that's what they tell me. And they play keep away, and then pretty much the others leave and get the fuck out of Dodge. So again, even in this episode, like, the Turtles don't really do a whole lot. But again, it's still a fun show in the fact that the animation for the time, yes, if you watch a lot of the episodes, there are animation mistakes from time to time. For example, I remember there were times when the Ron Turtle was talking, as in, like, this person's talking, or like they give him the Ron bandana. So like Mikey's talking, but they give him Leo's bandana. Sometimes there's those animation mistakes. In this one, James Avery, who voices Shredder, there's one moment where he says a line and it's not his voice. It's completely someone else's voice. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why that was the deal. But yeah, it's if you watch this episode, you very much notice one line that's not him. But speaking of the voice, like, that is one of the big pluses of the show, is the voice cast. Cam Clark as Leonardo, who I remember he also voiced in the, I guess you call it the first English dubbing of Akira. Because I remember when I saw Akira for the first time on VHS, I'm like, wait a minute, that voice sounds familiar. That sounds like Leo. And Cam Clark has voiced a lot of stuff. You definitely have heard him, especially if you've seen anime and other pieces of animation. And Barry Gordon is Donatello. Rob Paulson is Raphael, who would then voice Donatello in the 2012 cartoon. Townsend Coleman is Michelangelo with that big surfer lingo. James Avery, Uncle Phil on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, voicing Shredder. Like, the voice cast, they do their jobs very well. And like I said, that's definitely one of the big pluses of the show. Also the music. Not just the theme song, which is iconic, but the score. Like, the score is very well done. The score doesn't get talked about a lot, I think. And even when you're watching this episode, with the different venues, it fits well. And I don't know the composer's name, but I just brought that up because that's something that doesn't, again, get talked about a lot. And that's one thing I'll say, I love this show to death, but the score sucks. That's one of my few, like, big issues with this show. The music in this sucks. Again, it's my favorite incarnation, cartoon-wise, but they needed better music. Like, if some of the music in this, or other music, it could be other music, like, this needed better music. Like, this beats this with the, again, not just the theme, but the whole score entirely. So yeah, the music, the voice acting, the animation first time works fairly well. And it's silly, it's goofy, it's corny. It was what it was, but it's still entertaining, it's still lively, it's still jovial. You know, Raphael being sarcastic. There's still fun jokes that maybe kids won't get, but as an adult you understand more. Like, there's a point where Leonardo goes, we gotta go after that dinosaur, and Mikey goes, well, like, how come? And then Raphael goes, well, because if we didn't, it wouldn't be much of an episode. Oh, right. So that breaking the fourth wall, which would happen from time to time, that was clever. That was funny. And it's not boring. It goes by a good pace. I mean, it's only 20-some minutes long. And the story of it, the turtles are looking for the Technodrome. You know, the big golf ball thing with an eyeball attached to the top. That Crane, Shredder, Bebop, Rocksteady are always in. April comes down with her jumpsuit, and her tits are always ready to pop out, it seems. Just ready to just rip out of the suit. Kablam! And kapoof! And she's like, well, I don't know where to spend my vacation. What do you guys think? I'm like, do it your own fucking self. Pick your own fucking vacation spot. But then things start shaking. And yeah, with people like Mikey, they'll add the corny jokes. Oh, talk about bad vibes. And April, half her dialogue in the show is, I smell a news story. I gotta get my camera. I'm on the news. Like, literally, like you say, that's, or her streaming. Her streaming or saying something about the news is like half her dialogue in this entire show. But they go up, they realize there's a dinosaur. It's a plant eater. They chase it down. They go after it. Mikey, looks like he wants to get down and party. Sometimes I do wonder if this Mikey smokes dope. Because he definitely sounds like someone who smokes dope, and I've never smoked dope, but I've seen enough Cheech and Chong movies to know. Mikey sounds like he smokes dope. Maybe that's why he always eating pizza 24/7. So, the dope smoker there. But even with this show, I mean, there are genuinely funny bits, even to this day. As it gets darker and got rid of all my light. Like, there's a point where Shredder's getting mad at Bebop and Rocksteady going, why did you send this plant eater creature up? Why didn't you send a T-Rex up? And then Bebop and Rocksteady are going, well, it's hard to control them. You know, they got all muscle, no brains. And then Shredder stops and he goes, I won't say it. It's too easy. James Avery may rest in peace. Again, he was Uncle Phil in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He's been in other stuff too, and I thought he did a really good job voicing the Shredder. I mean, this Shredder was never intimidating. It was never scary. Because it was never that kind of show. It's more comedy. I would say it's more comedy than action. There's action, but again, I think of this more as a comedy show. It's the comedy bus. It's just, and not that that's bad. I think one of the things about this show, though, is it became so popular. It became so synonymous with Ninja Turtles that nowadays, this is like the only thing people think of. And it's like, I enjoy the show. I enjoy aspects of the show. It fully brought it to the dance, as in it made it become from this underground comic book to a pop culture phenomenon. But there's a positive and a negative. There's through the looking glass of that aspect, where now people only look at this and these characters as most people, when they visualize the Ninja Turtles, they visualize these guys. They love pizza, goofy, silly humor, and they will never be taken seriously or even have the thought process of making them actual characters. Because when you bring that up, people laugh. Really? What are you talking about? And I sit there and I go, do you guys not remember Batman at one point was a goofy, campy character because of the many years of the Adam West TV show? But then people like Tim Burton made Batman, and then through the comic books, people now look at Batman as strictly serious. If you say campy, like Batman and Robin, people go, oh, how dare you? I'm like, but it's still a guy in a bat suit dressed like a fucking bat. But they took it seriously. Captain America. Okay, USA, the red, white, and blue, Shield, Apple Pie, Opie Taylor. But, to their credit, Captain America movies, Chris Evans, they took the character seriously, and for those 3 movies, fairly respectfully on the Captain America character. There's humor, but there's also a little bit of backstory, heart, character build-up, a little bit of change in character from how he was at the beginning of Captain America to the end of Captain America Winter Soldier. But imagine if someone said, Captain America, come on, he's got to be the Golly G. Willikers and Uncle Buck, come on. That's my point. How about you try it and see what happens? I think you will be surprised. But because this was the biggest hit dealing with these names, Nickelodeon will always go back to this. Silly, goofy, comedic, they love pizza, all that stuff. The 2012 cartoon did that. The new one, fuck it, I'm glad it's canceled. And that's my... Like, people don't want to go back to the comic books. They don't want to go back to this. They want to forget this and put it under the radar. They always go back to this. And it's like, this had its day. It's a fun show for what it is. But it's funny, people say people like me and you live in the past. But I'm like, no, I'm saying we could go further with this. Nope. I'm like, well, then to be perfectly honest, that's very... There's a lot of out-of-the-box thinking that could be had in studios today. But that's just me. But getting back to this episode, sorry. Like I said, it's fun for what it is. The way they go into the Earth Earth, not Earth. It's not an F. It's not E-R. It's not E-A-R-F. It's E-A-R-T-H. Earth. Earth. There's a T-H at the end of it. There are some things that I thought were a bit weird. There's a point where they're riding the dinosaur and Shredder has this microwave ray and it makes lava, and April goes, "The lava, it's melting." Excuse me for my idiocy, how does lava melt? I thought that's what lava was. The lava, it's melting. Maybe that was meant to be two separate statements, like there's lava, and now this thing we're on, it's melting. But the way they had April O'Neil say it, it made it seem as if she was saying, the lava, it's melting, like as if the lava itself. I think they meant that to be two separate statements, but the way they had her say it came off as a bit weird. And again, the fact that the Turtles don't really do a whole lot. They do not really do a whole lot during this episode. And other than play keep away with the crystal, and Raphael did that one moment, which is cool, because I like the character. I do like that James Avery as Shredder gave him, like I said, he's not an intimidating foe, but there are moments that he gets a smirk out of me, where Leo's like, "Turtles fight with honor," and Shredder's like, "Yeah, but I fight dirty," and then he's shooting at them. I do find it weird though that at the end when they're playing keep away, and they're saying like football things, "Hey, pass interference. Oh, intercepted in the end zone by the green machine," and I'm sitting there going, people complain that Turtles Forever makes the Turtles goofy, silly. But here's a scene where this is a serious bit where they're playing keep away with a crystal and they're talking about football analogies of pass interference, and Leo literally says intercepted in the end zone by the green machine. But again, people get mad that Turtles Forever made them a bit silly. And even I've admitted, yeah, there's certain stuff that could change. It's not perfect. But with the fact that how that gets so hated venomously, I'm like, this show is rather goofy and silly. But still, it's hard for what it's supposed to be is in the right place. Like I said, the voice actors and the music and the animation for the time do their parts very well. It's a colorful show. Like I said, it's a lively show. I could never get into Crane. That's another thing. I always found his voice annoying as shit. That's why it's like, man, how come they don't put Crane in a movie? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if I... Well, they finally did Out of the Shadows, and look how that turned out. I never gave a fuck about seeing Crane or Bebop and Rocksteady. Bebop and Rocksteady are fine for what they are, but I'm watching more for the Turtles, not for them. That's why I'm like, I don't care if they ever did live action. And Crane, like I say, his voice... He's always talking like this, and he's always going to his voice like this. It annoyed the piss out of me. Hello, my name is Crane, and I'm doing this and that. Shut the fuck up. God damn it. So, I know I'm alone in that. Crane always annoyed the fuck out of me. That's why, even as a kid, when I had them, like on VHS, I would fast forward through the Crane scenes. I was like, let's get back to the Turtles. I also find it funny that at the end of it, when they're saying, "Hey, April, why don't you go here for a vacation?" And Donatello says the line, "Yeah, look at the tropical sunsets." I'm like, Don, there's not going to be any sunsets underground. You guys are underground. If there's a fucking sun in the earth, then you have another fucking more serious problem. But what tropical sunsets are you going to see underground, Donnie? And you're the genius, like you're the smart one. There's no tropical sunsets under the ground in the fucking near the Earth's core. Again, or there's some other horrible shit going on. But And then it's funny, like, it ends with April gets taken away by the dinosaur, they run off after her, and then the episode cuts, and I'm like, so did April live? Is April disemboweled? Obviously not, because she's fine in the next episode. But it's like, wow, April's going to be... she was picked up by pterodactyl, probably going to be fed to her babies. She's going to be pet to death. See you guys later. But in all seriousness, it's, like I said, it's fun. Like I said, it was fun watch it, because I haven't seen these in a long time. Because like I said, this has become more my cup of tea. But it's fun for nostalgia, but it's also fun for, like I said, the colors, the animation, the music, the score, the voice acting, and like it's lively and fun, and it's just meant to have fun. Again, do I have little issues? Yeah, I already said them already, but it made its place for a reason, and I just wish that now it had its time. I just wish it wasn't always the main focal point, even in 2021. That they can't escape this. It's like this box that they're put in. And it's like, no matter how much they try, they cannot escape the box that is the 80s Turtles cartoon. I think that's sad, because I think there's a lot of wasted potential that you leave in there. I think that's a lot of money left there, and there's a lot of potential wasted that you could incorporate in future endeavors. And that's a shame, because I think there's a lot more to these tiers that could be done. But that's just me. But still, fun episode. With that said, see you guys later. Bye-bye.